Hey, welcome, welcome, dear Pisces. This is for you. This is from Tarot Lumination, and it is your general report for September 2017. Okay, so let's get right into it. You've done this before, you know the drill. You're going to watch for your sun, your moon, and your rising. Okay, and then I invite you, please, to watch the older Leo North Node and the new moon Leo eclipse playlist series as well, because it's still very, very important and very relevant right now. Cards were already pre-shuffled, but we're going to go to the very last second. There's no reversals, there's no flyers, no jumpers. We're going to keep it very simple, okay? And we're going to tell a little story. It's what I call a journey spread from the heart, and it's going to, give us an idea how things are going to unfold for you. And we're going to jump right into it, okay? Here we go. We're going to cut now. Breaking it all up. Let's have a look. Let's see what's going on for you, dear Pisces. Oh, let's just mention, of course, for you in particular, this is Sun energy transiting your 7th house of significant relationships. So that might be worth saying and noting in the background. And there you go. So we're starting from here. This is the general vibe, okay, for you, for like from your core, so to speak, for this reading where we are now. Here's where you're coming from. This is kind of energy that you've brought with you. And this is the ever-present now as it unfolds through the journey and the time coming up ahead. This is just a very broad general energy reading for September, okay? We're not going to claim it's really specific or anything. We're going to read the energy. We're going to read the story, hopefully. Here is where things start to change already, because at this point, you're starting to move into, let's say, what we call the future, and bringing in your energy with you as you head that way. And as you make those movements forward, you're carrying energy and momentum with you, but also you're moving into essentially what amounts to the unknown. All right? And that's why we do tarot, to hopefully give us some idea of what's happening down the road, so we can have a better chance of surviving and making the best of our journey. And so with this little card here, we're looking at how do we do that most effectively, with the most love, so to speak. And over here, let's first, if you're not too accepting of the idea of laws of attraction or how you create your own reality, then this card here might feel like it's energy just coming at you out of the blue, what you might call your future that's coming at you. But it's also, in a broader perspective, it's energy that you've created that is now manifesting, okay? Consciously or unconsciously, as a result of your decisions, particularly the decisions in the moment, in the now, and with all the momentum and energy that you've carried with you moving forward. So as you start to move forward, like a lot of journeys, you do a lot of things on autopilot and for granted. You take your ability to move around for granted if you're physically mobile, and maybe you have cars and bicycles and things like that, or you take buses, and we just hope that everything's working right. But deep down, we always know there's a bit of risk that something could go wrong in our journey, despite our best intentions. So this card could represent the hopes that everything will work out, and oh my gosh, what if it doesn't? Okay, and here's where things seem to be heading. It's like the momentum, okay? We're also going to look at the card underneath in a moment, because that's what I like to think of as the weather that's permeating the whole reading. And, it's just there. It's just like the weather outside your front door. You make the best of it, whatever it is. And hopefully, if it's really crappy weather, you don't get overwhelmed or depressed or whatever. And if it's dazzlingly, wonderfully fun, exciting energy, you don't let it, get to your head and just think that it's going to be that way all the time. Like you moderate the behavior, and let's say you read the weather and you make the best of it like a healthy farmer would do. Now, I'm hoping you can see this, that, well, let me just put this aside. I like to think of this as a heart spread here. Can you see the heart shape? And that it's a journey. It moves through here, through here, through here. And this is your heart energy as it moves forward through this month, okay? It is a time-based experience, but time is a very fluid phenomenon, as some of you may know. So there's a sense of the present and the now, and there's the sense of what we call the past and the sense of what we call the future. And we're swimming in all of it all the time. So what we have here is the Eight of Swords for you, hovering around in the background. And this is an indication is that there may be things around you that need your attention, although it might be very tempting for you to ignore the message, okay? For whatever obvious reasons. A lot of times we just don't want to deal with the crappy stuff in our lives. We just want to get on with things, and especially the good stuff, and ignore the challenging stuff and hope it just kind of like fades away like a deep dark cloud that will just pass on. But this is a little bit more significant. It's an indication that this isn't just a cloud, so to speak. It's just that there are issues that need to be addressed, okay? Let's have a look. Do not be disturbed, okay? Sorry, I'm sounding all preachy now. Let's have a look. Here's the general vibe for you, Pisces, all right? We have the Hanged Man. So that wouldn't surprise me at all with the Hanged Man right now, especially with this very strong opposition that's going to be happening over the month between the Sun and Neptune, and also a little bit of the Chiron energy there. And the shift in energy that's happening because we're coming out of the Leo eclipses and we're moving into a softer, gentler, newer type of energy, but it's affecting you quite strongly, Pisces, even though it is gentle, soft energy, in that it's in your 7th house of significant relationships. So it might make you go through that feeling where with the Hanged Man here, it would be perfectly appropriate for you to feel a little bit disembodied from yourself. And it could also be very appropriate for you to almost observe your life in this way. In other words, if you're feeling like, we've done this before in other readings where you might be witnessing your life as though you're watching a movie of yourself, all the good stuff, all the awkward stuff. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Awesome, awesome. And yet there's a sense of this divine detachment as you are observing yourself, like watching your own life, as opposed to the more typical day-to-day way of living your life where you're totally immersed in your presence. And so here we are with this energy that's happening around you. It might be a very strong indication that this is like a, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here, dear Pisces type energy? But that's not me telling you. That's you feeling that and saying that to yourself. It's just like, oh my God, I'm Pisces. Maybe it's sun, moon, and rising, but I'm feeling something here, and it's a little bit weird. It's taking me out of my normal way of being, but that's okay, because I'm still me, but I'm observing me from afar. What's going on? And if that's happening to you like spontaneously, okay, please accept that and allow the opportunity for you to observe yourself and have a bigger, broader perspective to occur. If you're doing this deliberately, then that's also commendable too, because that's an indication that you are aware of the energies that are occurring around you. And in order to make the best of your situation, it might be that you are deliberately and very humbly and very subtly and graciously detaching yourself from yourself, to be almost in this completely egoless state where you almost like take a time out to deliberately observe what the heck is going on in my life. I need to know. And that would be okay too, also, because we're actually, for you, Pisces, you're going to be coming out of the Mercury retrograde, coming into September, throughout September, but you're still going to have a bunch of planets still in deep retrograde. Saturn's coming out, but you still got Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto in deep retrograde. So things might free up, though you might feel like how things are starting to free up in your life, but they might still be very puzzling in terms of the perspective about the details of the hows and the whys this is all unfolding. Let's see where you're coming in with. Oh, look. Isn't this beautiful? This is the Ace of Cups. So it might indicate here, Pisces, that you have the best of intentions and you're very, very deeply aware of this energy. The Ace of Cups is like an amazing gift from heaven, and it might be poised in your life, in your surroundings in such a way that it is now here, ready and willing, ready for you to accept. So the question is, are you in a position or a state of mind or a state of pure openness and, let's say, divine acceptance where you can receive this kind of energy into your life? It's there, it's available for you, but with the Ace of Cups, it is an energy of opportunity. So it means that you would have to willingly and deliberately and consciously make the choice to accept this and bring this in with you. And it kind of looks like that's already happening because of the card being in this position. But I'm feeling it's more like a wish. It's almost like going into September, fingers crossed, like, God, I hope I can figure this stuff out because I really need to know what's going on. I really need to know what's going on, and I'm willing to surrender my ultimate awesome ego self and take a more detached, graceful, observant perspective, as though I'm in a therapy session where I'm receiving a lot of signals and messages from very significant others, and I am observing it, and I'm allowing the love energy to flow towards me, and you're going to accept it, and you're going to carry that with you. And in the background, it's like behind your back here. Do you see behind his back here? You're like this, okay? Do you see what I'm trying to indicate here? The message is what I'm feeling is just like, God damn, I hope so. I really, really hope so. Let's double crossed, fingers crossed luck, okay? So that's good. So stay optimistic. That's good, Pisces. Stay really, really optimistic. Because deep down, I have a feeling you know that there are things that need to be addressed, okay? We're not saying what they are at the moment, but you probably have a good idea. What about the ever-present now? Okay. Well, at least there's indications that you are aware of your own, let's say, good fortune here. You know, let's say circumstantial. In other words, you are accepting in a very, very gracious way that you're going to be living through this experience through September, and it is infused with a lot of change and transformation of eclipse energy. In other words, certain aspects of your life are literally starting to fall away as new patterns and situations, opportunities, people, and experiences become present. And so that eclipse energy is happening in your 12th house of spirituality, divine awareness, divinity, but also to do with, you know, the area of, let's just call it self-undoing, imprisonment, sickness, illness, and the need to check out and rest, so to speak. So in September, you might be feeling like the eclipse energy, whether you know it or not, might be triggering whole new ways of treating yourself at the core of your spirit, at the deepest core of your spirit, about what is it that I'm doing to myself that is so self-sabotaging, and then recognizing what it is by taking a very humble, detached perspective and realizing, aha, the most loving thing I can do is to discover what it is that I'm doing to undermine myself, if that makes any sense. So I'm trying to say that in a way so that it sounds purely logical, but it might not sound logical for you. Because in order to evolve and grow to your best self, whatever it is that's a source of your own undoing, because we still have Neptune and Pisces, they're right in the middle of your solar first house, okay? But with the Leo energy and the eclipses going on there's a lot of emphasis on real change here in spirit. So what I'm sensing here is deep down, you know what's going on. Maybe you have Might be a little tongue-tied about how to put all this happening in words because it's such hard energy to understand, Neptune energy in general, and articulate that. But deep down, you have the Empress energy here in your presence. So in other words, like if you could actually bottle this stuff, if you could take all your Pisces raw ingredients and the most ultimate versions of yourself and break it down into an ingredient list and put it into a bottle that stuff and sell that, that's what you would be. It would be this most amazing, beautiful, like, what do they call it? The magic elixir or something like that, where you have all the abundance, you have all the fertility, you have all the potential, you have all the soul beauty, you have all the soul wealth, you'll have all the soul abundance and richness that you need in order to evolve to become Pisces Mark II. Because that's what's happening here with the eclipse energy. Okay, even though the eclipse is Leo energy, it's still eclipse energy and that affects everybody. So it's almost like you're going through a spiritual revolution, and it might be experienced in the area of deeply personal relationships. But it's happening in a way that you know you have your own wealth, your own abundance in the background. Okay, and you're just literally trusting that, you're trusting that good stuff is going to happen, and you're going to it's almost like abandoning yourself to the flow of things, which is a very courageous thing to do. A lot of people would be so scared of that they would want to try and control and outline every aspect of what's happening over the next few months. But no, Pisces, it looks like you are very much in a position of deliberate and willing surrender. Okay, so that's beautiful. So let's see, let's move on a little bit. Moving forward, what do we have? Okay, there is an awareness that you do have to evolve. You do have to move on. You do have to let go of the things that are not serving you, the people, the places, the relationships, the attitudes, the perceptions, every single aspect of your life that is not working for you needs to be identified. You've got to reveal it to heal it. Okay, bring forward all your natural wealth and abundance and continue in the journey with a higher level of awareness, carrying this with you. Okay, so what's happening here with this little card as we move into the area of your own heart journey, where you understand that it is a journey in what we call time, and moving forward, you do understand that there is no going back. You are moving into a higher way of being, higher consciousness, more peace, more love. But it does mean leaving other things behind, okay? And that's what can be so hard for people, because sometimes we become very wedded to our ailments, our woe is me, our stories, and sometimes it's so extreme, like when we become so attached to the things that aren't working in our life, you know, things like all our negative experiences, like, oh, you can't believe what happened to me, oh, that thing was horrible, and guess what, when I was a kid, of course I was totally devastated by so and so, and it's no wonder I'm such a screw up today, because I can blame it all on the past. Well, the thing is, we're being invited and pushed to move beyond all that now and take much deeper, fuller responsibility for ourselves and our own future and our own evolution by owning everything, owning all our doo-doo and all our abundance, okay? And here's the doo-doo. And so with the Eight of Swords here, it's a realization now, and it's an understanding that, yes, facing forward, going from here on with this eclipse energy, moving forward over the next year, dear Pisces, it's time to address all these deeply buried internal issues and dynamics that translate into sources of self-undoing, okay? So we're going to deal with that some way, somehow, okay? It's not like it's going to be a massive, like, jolting thing where you just blow everything up and then start from scratch. That's not what's happening here in this story. It's very much a story of evolution where, guess what happened? Oh, you know what? Oh, like, pretend you're in long-term therapy, okay? Here, like with this card, like, and they're digging through your past and they're saying, oh, dear Pisces, no wonder this and this happened to you today. It's because of that, and that in the past. Can you see how there's so much energy of conditioning, subconscious programming, and self-defeating behavior that you've been carrying for so long without you even knowing it? Oh, says Pisces, really? And then the therapist says, Wow, well, did you know about that? So tell me about this. Why did that happen and that happen and that happen in your life that went so awful for you? And then you confide to your therapist, like, well, now you think about it, it was this, and this happened to me. And then the therapist says, well, no wonder. Can you see how you have to reveal it to heal it? Okay. So that's what we're doing. One little tiny sliver at a time. Sometimes tiny little slivers can cause great damage when they are left to fester. So how are we going to keep moving on effectively and healthily? Okay, well, this I feel relates very much to the Leo eclipse energy, where you're going to say, okay, if we're going to do this thing, if we're going to go deep into Pisces and we're going to learn a lot of stuff about self-healing and evolution going down the road long term, and it's going to be weird and trippy, and we know we got all this coming in, I got all the ingredients, and I already know we're going to have to move on. How are we going to do this effectively? Well, it's almost like you're going to treat it as a movie. In other words, you know what, people? I'm Pisces, and I'm just going to do this stuff, and we're going to turn it into an epic movie, and I'm going to be the star of the show. And I'm going to live it all out. I'm going to throw myself into the pool of evolution, and I'm going to accept all the feedback and energy and reciprocal stuff that comes to me from others, significant others in my life. And whatever happens, I'm going to treat it as a gift. And that gift is a deeper awareness of anything that's screwed up here. And I'm going to say, awesome, because I can handle it, because I'm basically the star of the movie. And just bring it on. I'm telling you, people, bring it on. Bring it on. Show me what's next. What do I have to deal with next? I'm a star. I can handle it. This is the Queen of Wands. Her energy, forget the gender. The energy is very much about brave, courageous, passionate leadership, being willing to get in there with her people, herself, her own being, and being more than ready, willing, and able to shine her own light, because that's her natural way of being. But it also becomes very inspiring for others. In other words, wow, if you can handle your crap, Pisces, people, and other people are watching you as you do your own evolutionary thing, and they're saying, wow, look at you. If you can handle all your crap and you're turning it into a movie, then that's freaking awesome. Then maybe that's an inspiration, the inspiration that the rest of us can handle our own evolution too. Okay, so that's kind of a big deal, Pisces. So that would be a good, healthy way to approach, the new, let's say, journey up ahead, where you turn yourself into the star of your own show, and you make the best of it, and you allow, like in really good movies, that every now and again it's just like, oh no, are they going to make it across the cliff? Are they going to fall down? Oh, is he going to let go of her hand? Oh, is that bullet going to miss them? And of course, you're going to make it, because you got all of this and you got all of this, and you've already surrendered to the process, and you deep down know you have to move on, and you're going to prevail. But it's so awesome because you're right there on the edge of the cliff as the next oh no moment happens, but you get over it because you prevail, because you're the star of the movie and you're going to win in the end. Okay, so it's awesome, and everybody's watching. Are you going to make it? Oh, whew, wow, that was close. And then of course at the end it's wonderful. So let's have a look. So what's coming at you? What's all this stuff coming at you? All right, let's have a look. See, you got the 10 of Pentacles here. So if you treat this whole process of evolution and healing that's starting here in September as an epic healing journey, then it's almost like you're going to get everything that you need, everything that you want, that works for your ultimate goodness and your ultimate higher self, your ultimate maximum evolution. And it's going to happen another way, in such a way that, let's just say, each of these pentacles is symbolic of everything, that all the abundance that you've either accrued because of your epic journeys in life so far, past lives, or whatever you want to call it. And this is all your wealth and all your bounty that you have stored up. And it is now here fully available to you. in your resources. It's like your own private treasure chest, your own war chest, your own gun cabinet, your own specialty survival kits, and all your wonderful resources and supplies that you need to continue, okay? And it's all there for you. It might not look the way that I just described it here in your reading, but it's an indication that it is there for you and it's coming at you and that you deserve all this. And if it comes to you as a shock that you have so much resource and abundance available to you at your inner core, then just accept it and be shocked and act shocked. But then we're going to understand that it's okay, because soon, Pisces, you're going to get used to it and you're going to take full advantage of all of this and make it work for you as you evolve to the new path. So this is kind of epic. I got to tell you, Pisces, is feeling really epic here. And let's just say you get it, what we're talking about here. Somehow or other, let's say this resonates with you, even though it sounds like a weird movie. Deep down, of course, because we live in a three-dimensional world, even with all your best perspectives, and knowing you have all this abundance here, and knowing that you're blessed and you are carrying this with you, you hope. So you're going to move on, do the journey. So what this card would indicate, like, oh my God, what if it doesn't, like, you know, going back to this energy of like, oh, let's hope this all works out, people. This is like, oh my God, I hope this works out. And like, I hope what happens if this doesn't work out? So we'll figure it out. So don't worry about it. Okay. Don't worry too much. You gotta laugh, Pisces. I mean, seriously, you gotta laugh here. Look at that. Ace of Cups, like, oh, is this gonna happen? But the indication here is that so long as you do this amazingly humble, egoless gesture of surrendering yourself to the journey, then yes, you have, in other words, everything is exactly as it should be, and it can't be any other way. And even if some of these things look like, what am I supposed to do with this stuff? It's an understanding that it is exactly as it should be, and it's going to bring you all the resources. So long as you continue to show up in your own movie and be the star every day, wake up and configure yourself, go to hair, makeup, and wardrobe, get yourself all tweaked out for the day to live out your role, act as if, even though you might be scared out of your wits about the next chapter, you're going to act as if, knowing that you are heading in the right direction with all the resources available to you that you need. Fingers crossed, it's all going to work out beautifully, and it's going to lead to happiness. Literally happiness, okay? Full-on love. This is not a love reading, it's just general energy, okay? It's just general, broad sweeping energy. Basically, having all that abundance, not just in your treasure chest, but in your life, in your people, in your people, the love that you share with others and the love that others share with you. Hoping that you have all that, wishing that you have all that, like knowing that deep down you deserve all that. That's awesome. So of course, with such an epic kind of reading here, just imagine like, oh my God, what if it doesn't happen? Then of course you have all this at stake. So this is like a high stakes movie. This is an epic movie where they're taking you right up to the cliff, right up to the edge of the cliff, where we don't actually know what's going to happen because we're the audience watching you, Pisces. But of course, deep down, you know, Pisces, that you are just fine. You got this, you got this, you got this. All right, Pisces? So this is pretty epic. I'm happy for you. And don't be scared that this won't happen, because it will. I don't know exactly when. This is not a time-based reading. And with eclipse energy, this could have a very long trajectory, okay? But the indication here is that this is really awesome, okay? Even if it feels like a wild and crazy ride at times, because it's sort of going to be like a movie. All right, so where does that take you? Let's have a look. Da-da-da-da! It's kind of like the way it should be, okay? Like if you do things properly, conduct your life as though like you're in a movie and you're just going through everything one step at a time. Every day you do live through the next step. It's just what they do in the movie business, you know. You show up, you go to hair, makeup, and wardrobe, and whether you had a crappy day in your personal life before or the night before, you show up on set and you live your lines, you live your part, you act out your role with full authenticity as though it is you, to the point where you don't even know it's not you anymore because you're so good at living your role. And in so doing that, you've put it all together where it's almost like this actually works for you. All the 10 of Pentacles here are now actually working for you. And by the willing decision to courageously take on this role and be the starring role in your life, you start to notice incrementally, let's say step by tiny step, by picking off every single one of these, that this self-healing process is actually working. It's actually working here. Okay, in other words, being courageous enough to move on and release what is no longer serving you. You are essentially removing obstacles, dumping baggage, saying goodbye to stuff that does not work, and openly, deliberately, and willing receiving the stuff that does work for you. But it's being done in a very orderly, methodical way. Literally, it's almost like, instead of a movie, it's almost like more like an epic, episodic series, okay? Maybe 7 episodes or 13 episodes or whatever it is here. Maybe there's 8 episodes, and in each episode you face the worst of the worst, but you come out okay. And sometimes at the end of certain episodes there's a cliffhanger. Are we really going to make it to that next episode or not? But of course you do, because you show up every day, step by step in front of you, just like a responsible, caring, willing person would do. And you bring it home. You bring it home to yourself. You bring it home to the audience, and you're the audience of your own movie, okay? And everyone else is going to witness the change and the transformations occurring inside of you, Pisces, as you go through this over time. So it's awesome. I'm really, really happy for you. No matter how scary it gets, Pisces, you will endure, okay? So let's leave it at that. Let's just say it's just going to be an awesome, epic movie. And keep us posted, keep us updated as it goes along. Okay, so that's it. Reinterpret however you want. You know, this reading's for you. Again, from the start, watch for your sun, moon, and rising. Mush it all together. Maybe this will make more sense. Watch the Leo North Node and the eclipse, the new moon eclipse videos recently. Okay. Have a great September, Pisces. See you on the other side. All right, bye.